I mean, they make the revolvers, the 1860s era revolvers. They make good ones that way.
That used to be my hobby a long time ago.
Really?
Black powder gun.
Yeah, yeah.
I've shot every kind you think of.
Well, I have a pilgrimage I need to make because I learned that the McKissick Museum in Columbia has got Maxie Gregg's dueling pistols. And I've been reading and researching about that man for years, and he fought a duel. He was a second in several other duels, and then he burned his shoulder in a fire. And because he burned his shoulder, he couldn't use his shotgun anymore when he went hunting. Because of the recall, he began to hunt with his dueling pistols. And ever since I learned that, he wrote about it in his little journal that he would put bird shot and go squirrel a bird hunting with his dueling pistols. I want to see those things. He must have been an interesting man. One thing I like about that gentleman, he was very smart, and he did not care what the world thought of him. He truly did not. He would walk down, walk out of Columbia, happily carrying a dueling pistol to go out hunting. And I'm sure that people were telling jokes about it, but he did not care. There's something to admire in that, I think.
Okay, I have almost 7 o'clock. As is our custom, we'll wait till 5 after in case we have anyone stragglers coming in.
Well, thank you all for coming out on a Friday night. A Friday night with a ball game on television.
Mind if I take a picture?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. More or less comes with the territory. Now, when I picked out pieces for this privateer outfit, one of the things I deliberately wanted to do is contradict some of people's general notions. So, this is not a uniform. A privateer, particularly a privateer officer, is probably going to wear fashion styles that somewhat mimic a uniform, but so were ordinary civilian men back home. That was not unusual. And I don't know about y'all, but I want to sail in the Caribbean. I want to go down where it's warm, and the straw hat is definitely a Charleston and Low Country style and would have been seen very often. In fact, this was almost, in many ways, a standard sailor's hat for a very long time. All the way up into, if you ever watch, if they do it 19th century style, even if they do like a Gilbert and Sullivan musical that's showing sailors in the British Navy, they'll be wearing these up to and almost 1900 because they operated in the tropics. And, they were cheap, they were comfortable, and they were often sort of dressed in service. So you don't have a magnificent hat on all the time. The magnificent boots, that's because I don't really want to wear silk stockings. I'm not yet man enough to openly wear silk stockings, so I'll put up with that.
Well, everyone please stay after for reception. We have a birthday cake. This month we're celebrating 4 years of being here.
While we're sort of killing time, this is definitely one of my favorite sidearms that I occasionally get to carry. And it is recently made, but it's based very closely on a privateer's sword that's held in a museum in Rhode Island. And they think it was the work of a local blacksmith up there. In a lot of ways, it's fairly crude, yes.
Is that new?
Well, let me put it this way. If a man came in here right now and wanted a sword fight, this would be the thing in the room that I would use if I had to pick something in the room. Now, it's not actually 200 years old, but neither am I. And it's made very close to how it was made back then. It's a very good simulation of the sword of the time. It would have been up to me, by the way, whether I would have had the weapon actually sharpened or not. And it's surprising how many swords were carried without actually being sharpened, especially in the Army. Army swords would be issued unsharpened, and many soldiers didn't take their swords all that seriously. I definitely, in a privateering capacity, I want a very sharp blade. And you know why I want a sharp blade? Because I don't want to hurt anybody, but I want to scare them. And if I can cut a handkerchief with this thing in front of them, maybe I look like I'm something cool and tough, which is a big part, actually, of the privateering role, in a sense. But the sword was still a fairly serious weapon, and the impression that I'm sort of doing here is somebody in between a lowly sailor who's blue collar and a genuine officer who's really on the edge of being an aristocrat. I'm a little bit more a guy with pretensions. This is not a sword to wear to a party. Men would have a nice sword to wear to a party. If they're a gentleman, if they're an aristocrat, you don't have male jewelry, but your sword was a way that you could sort of show off your status. And a gentleman's sword that he wore to a party or on an occasion of state would be what they call a small sword. And they call it a small sword, well, guess what? It was pretty small. It's triangular in shape, about this long, but much lighter, much faster, much better for fencing. Not quite as tough in a situation where there's no rules. And so a gentleman's formal duel, where they're going to dance back and forth and try to touch with the point, a small sword would do the job just fine there. Two ships crashing together and men winding up in a fight on the decks, and the small sword is going to get broken quite quickly. This is much more of a practical fighting weapon with a nice big guard here to guard my hand. That's a really handy thing. If these weapons are clashing together and one blade runs down the other blade, it's not going to hit my hand, it's going to hit this guard. In fact, I may even be able to catch the other blade, this thing right here, and hold the other guy's sword while I figure out what to do otherwise, which probably involves my big boots. So this is not a sword to wear to a party, this is certainly a coat to wear to a party. And a lot of people, a lot of men in the 1770s, the brand new republic, the brand new idea we're going to have our own country over here, people wanted to rise in the world. They wanted to make something better of themselves. They looked up to the gentlemen and the aristocrats. And in England, if you looked up to the gentlemen and the aristocrats, that was great. But that's what you're going to do your whole life, look up to them. In the new colonies, in America, you looked up to a gentleman like that and you said, I could be like that. How did he do that? I'm going to figure out how and do it myself. I'm going to get my own land. I'm going to get my own education. I'm going to learn the skills. I'm going to rise in the world because there was room in the New World to do that.
You know the best defense in a sword fight?
Well, it depends on if I've already fired from this or not. There is that. The trouble is, on a ship, you only run so far before you swim.